I should be writing number 440.
But I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing, the podcast for wannabe fiction writers. I'm your host, Mer Lafferty. And I'm actually doing these in a batch because I asked Twitter for some ideas and people gave them to me. And I have the time, so I figured I would get some stuff done early. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, today is October 18th. And if you are not, then today is October 21st. So today's question is from Julie on Twitter. How do you achieve flow with constant focus interruptions? Although I'm sure you've talked about this before. Yeah, Julie, I've talked about it before and how I can't do it. You know, I even went on medication for ADD and all it did was help me focus on things that are usually my distractions. So it's like when on ADD meds, I sure can focus on Twitter. Boy, howdy. And so there's really no medication that's going to make me focus on the right thing. I got to do that myself. Which means I got to grow up a little bit. In all seriousness, I've found I complained about Freedom being a big disappointment to me, the apps. But I did find that at least on iOS devices, the screen time limitation you can put actually does help a little bit. Even though you can easily override it, it's at least a reminder that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be looking at this. So first, there's the locking the devices. The dog has her head on my lap and is grumbling at me for attention, if you hear a little bit of growling in the background. So first, get the devices off. That's one of my big things. Second, if the temperature in your area will agree to it, close your office door. It's, for me, it keeps out the dogs that are constantly asking for attention. Right, Rosa? And, like if one dog's asleep in my office, the other one will come in and start to play, which, you know, is part for play and part for attention. And it also removes the memory of, or the reminder of other stuff to be doing in the house. What? Things like laundry and the dishes and the mail and all that. So if you have a place where you can shut the door. Oh, stop it. I'm going to take a picture of you and put it on the podcast. Put it in the show notes so people can see what I'm dealing with. Anyway, the funny thing is you're asking me how to deal with distractions, and I'm in constant flow interruptions, and I'm dealing with it right now, or rather, not very well. All right, got a picture of the doggy. That'll go on the show notes. And now I'm going to do what I suggested, which is get her out of here. Come on, come on, come on, good girl. I'm fairly sure right now she's standing in the hallway looking very, very betrayed. I sometimes find that setting a timer, kind of doing a Pomodoro type thing, is good. I've used the Forest app, which doesn't really, is a more fun way to lock your phone than the screen time thing. There's also a browser plugin, but I can't seem to make that really work for me. So I need a Forest thing that like locks more things. But it's tough. That's really it. It's tough, and you got to remember that maybe eventually you just have to deal with it. Maybe there isn't a magic bullet. I don't know. And T. Parrish Mitchell says, how about some tips on how to decide what to work on after you finish a project? Related ways of switching gears to a new project when you've been so engaged with your last project. Okay, this requires you to start something, to start with your current project, because there's always a period in, say, the first 10 to 20,000 words, and often around 35,000 words, where the new car smell has worn off of your novel, and all that's left is work. And you're like, why did I think this is a good idea? This is stupid. And your brain, because it wants to sabotage you, starts throwing you new ideas. Like, oh, wouldn't this be fun to start? Wouldn't this be awesome to work on? And you'll think, maybe I should just quit this crap that I'm writing and write this shiny new thing. But I promise you, once you get 5, 10, 15,000 words into the new thing, it's going to feel like work again. So what you do is you write down all the shiny good ideas that your brain is desperately throwing at you to get you to stop working on this hard project. And you write those down. And you tell your brain, listen, brain, we will look at the shiny thing. I promise. But we have to eat our vegetables first. I'm really mixing up all the metaphors here. I'm sorry. So when you're done with your project, you take a look at that shiny project list. And you think, which one sounds fun? Which one is a good palate cleanser from this big project I worked on? And, if you have a short idea or a funny idea or just something that may be fun to work on from beginning to end, or maybe a palate cleanser, then pick that one. And all the while your brain will be wondering, well, maybe I should write a second book or a follow-up to the project I just finished, or maybe I should start thinking about the next big thing, or whatever. The forebrain, the conscious mind, is just going, oh, it's so good to relax and work on this shiny fun thing. So write your ideas down so you'll have something to focus on when you do finish a project. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for your Twitter suggestions. If you want to send me more suggestions on Twitter, that's @MightyMur, or you want to email me, it's mightymur@gmail.com. If you want to support the Patreon and get some extra special things during NaNoWriMo month for just $1 a month, that's patreon.com/MightyMur. And the home of all my crap is Murverse.com. The pacemaker challenge for today, if it is the 18th, is 938, 990 for Saturday, 1042. We crossed the big 1000 mark on Sunday. And if you're listening on Monday, your target quota for the day is 1094 words. Again, if you're coming in late, I set up a climbing scale to do sort of a workout, to do a little bit more each day while you prepare for NaNoWriMo. So if you started at the beginning, you would have done 50 words and be done. But by the time at the end, you'll be doing 1,500. And you'll be in fighting shape for NaNoWriMo on November 1st. So if you want to start that now, work about 1,000 words and then do a little bit more tomorrow. Because you should be writing. Remember, you can support the show at patreon.com/MightyMur. I should be writing theme music provided by John Anelio. You can find more about him at johnanelio.com. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike license.
But